All right. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hey to everyone who's watching this on replay, and there's a few people here that are already here early. So today's going to be a bit of a special Q&A. There we go. My camera's doing the weird stuff that it normally does. We fixed up. We're not pink today, which is kind of cool. Today's going to be a special Q&A. We're just going to be doing like a live. I don't know how long we'll go for. Maybe like a bit over an hour. We've got Justin here today. So if you guys have been watching any of the vlogs, you would have seen Justin's been in quite a few of them. So yeah, today we've got Justin here. You can ask Justin some questions. We're going to talk about some fish, some things that we got going on because we've got some projects going on together. So yeah, ask the questions. Like just drop a question in the chat. We'll try and answer as many as we can. Most of the time we can't answer all of them because sometimes it's just like a ridiculous amount of questions. So that's really good. I'm not complaining at all. I really love seeing all the questions. And yeah, I also just want to say thanks to everyone who's become a member. I really, really appreciate it. If you guys want to see, like, I mean, don't feel like you have to give us anything at all. Got Liam's back at it again. Thanks, Liam. Yeah, all the people, like, if you don't feel like you have to give any money or anything like that, like you guys just watching the videos, hitting the like button, like that really helps us out a lot. So, yeah, but if you want to become a member, we're going to be making a bunch of like behind the scenes stuff. We're going to probably do some, I remember what we're going to do. We're maybe going to go like crabbing or something like that to try and catch crabs in a local area, and just fun videos like that, a little behind the scenes things. So yeah, we've already got Busy's here, Abby's here, Aquamate's here, and Raven, Liam's obviously here as well. So yeah, ask away. I guess what can we talk about? Starting off with, normally I just start talking about what I've been doing, but what have you been up to? Like, what's been happening in your, like, I know what's been happening, but tell everyone what's been happening on your end with your fish room and everything like that.
Oh, well, basically just at the moment I've got a few different projects, joint projects with KFS. So the blue sapphire angelfish, the pearl scale pandas, and some of the Corys from KFS. I'm trying to get them to breed. They're being a bit stubborn though, so I guess it's hard.
For everyone here who's watching, it's going to be really, I guess, informative to understand kind of the relationship that we have with the fish and everything like that. The way it kind of is at the moment is Justin's looking to actually expand his fish room, which is really, really exciting. We're going to be working on that together. Man, this camera is going to be a little bit annoying with this today, but I guess everyone's just going to have to put up with it. We can't fix it right now. So yeah, we're doing a bunch of like different projects together at the moment, but the end goal is to hopefully when Justin's in his fish room, we can be doing like more large scale things together. Most of the time, because Justin's fish room at the moment is at his house, it's a lot easier for him to pay attention to a lot of the projects and really like put a lot of effort into things. So Justin's got like, yeah, what have you got? The flagtail panda Corys.
Yep.
And the bandits.
Yep.
Which I wasn't able to spawn.
Yeah.
And that might be because I'm a bad fish keeper or whatever, but also because I wasn't there to just watch them all the time. And, you know,
I think they're just stubborn fish. Like,
yeah, they're tricky to take care of.
Yeah, they are.
So Justin's focusing on things like that. He's trying to fix up a pair of discus that we bought as a breeding pair in one of our vlogs.
Driving me crazy.
yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
And yeah, like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on for Justin at the moment. So someone says they like your new haircut. Raven likes your new haircut. Someone's noticed.
Yeah, we both got a haircut.
I might a bit ago, but
yeah.
So yeah, you want to talk about your fish room?
Yeah. So basically, you've seen my video, which probably most of you haven't.
If you want to see Justin's channel, there's a link in the bio.
Yeah, basically, I've been gifted a bit of space from my parents to expand my fish room.
I'll close this door.
So yeah, basically it's going to be ramfish focused, which will be like good for KFS and good for me, because that's kind of the thing that I like breeding is the other rams. So that'll be good. And I've also got the ponds outside, so we could do better fish breeding videos in the future and stuff like that. And I mean, Nick's already
we've got so many betters at the moment.
I mean, even today when we were at the fish room.
Yeah, we're overrun with betters at the moment, and we haven't got any on the shop yet. So I've got to get get around to that, but we've both been busy with uni.
Yeah.
And we're on a break right now. So we've actually been doing we hung out yesterday and played with the fish yesterday. And today we're taking a break tomorrow because we've both got to do some uni stuff. But we're on the break right now. So we've been really we've got the opportunity to finally do this live, which I wanted to do for a bit. And yeah, so Justin's working on that fish room. I don't know how far away that is at the moment. What do you reckon? 4 months away? 5 months?
Yeah, I'd say a couple months. Yeah.
I'll
slowly get into it.
Yeah. It's going to be more of a gradual thing, I think, for Justin, given that it's at home. Yeah. Whereas my fish room was just one big go.
Yeah, and as Nick said, university and all of that. At this point in time, we're both full-time students.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
For me, it's harder to just do everything in one go. I'd rather just gradually progress into something. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll answer a few questions.
Yeah.
We'll get into how's my day been so far? How pretty good.
Yeah.
We've just got a couple of coffees. Oh my gosh, this camera's actually really frustrating me.
One Direction.
Yeah,
mug.
Justin's got his One Direction mug, and I've got just a basic mug. But we've had a good day. We dropped off some fish to a local fish store. We met up quite late today. What else did we do? That's basically it.
Yeah.
Sent out 2 orders. And now we're doing this stream. So we went and got Vietnamese before this as well. Had some rice pepper rolls. So that was nice. I got chicken and pork, and I think Justin did too. So that was cool.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do. Hey, what are some reasons my guppies are not breeding? So I guess, do you want to try and answer that one first? Because I think I've got 2 reasons, I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking whether you've got one, either you don't have both sexes in the same tank, or maybe you've got another fish in the tank that is eating the fry before you can see them, perhaps, because it's kind of impossible to not breed guppies.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking more. So you're going to probably have a guppy in there, so they're probably breeding, but they're eating all the fry really quickly, or you haven't given them enough time. So what I would do to fix it is I'd definitely make sure you got males and females first of all, and then the second thing I would do is add a bunch of Java moss or something like that, and try and add a bunch of hiding spaces. So if they do have babies, they can get away and hide, because that's part of the breeding. So yeah, hopefully that helps a little bit. All right, Aquamate's asked, what's Justin's favorite fish and why?
Oh, probably at the moment it's probably the blue rams. I just really enjoy keeping and breeding them. So because they're quite a tricky fish. That for me they're even trickier than discus, and I like a bit of a challenge. So yeah, at the moment that's what it is.
Yeah, that's actually because someone's asked already how we met, and that's funny because basically the way we met was Justin and I guess Justin and I had a friend in common who was friends with me on Facebook. Justin tried to add me on Facebook because he was just swiping through and he saw people you may know, and I came up and I had no clue. I
just recognized his face from YouTube. So
and I had no clue who Justin was, so I didn't accept it. But then the mutual friend who was actually my friend on Facebook messaged me and said, hey, you should add this guy. He breeds discus and rams and things like that. And then we got in contact, and then I organized to buy some of Justin's rams, and then we met, and it kind of just started from there.
Yeah.
We started hanging out. The thing is, Justin and I, we both have the same interests in the fish. So we're really into the breeding and the whole breeding for profit thing.
Yeah.
Which makes us it means that we share the same kind of hobby, because this hobby, it's really broad. You could be into, say, aquascaping or something like that, and it wouldn't be the same. But because we're both into the breeding, even some people are into breeding, but they're not into selling the fish and things like that. So it all kind of just went from there. We got Justin on one of the videos or something like that, and then it's only been a couple of months since we've known each other, but I'm sure we're going to be friends for years and years and years to come, doing all the fish stuff. So yeah, here we go. We've got an infinite amount of questions. Which discus pair did you get from Vincent? So we got we've only been to Vincent once, and we got the Floras, lemon and clementine.
Yeah, the first pair that you got. Yeah.
And the rest went from Vincent. That was kind of a mistake. But you'll find out about that in the vlogs. We haven't had any major catastrophes, but they're definitely not the best quality discus that we've seen.
Yeah, we're kind of dealing with a non-ideal situation at the moment.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
It should be fine.
I'm new to this fish thing. What's the safest fish for someone who's just starting? You can.
Oh, I mean, probably like your typical like goldfish, like comets or a better fish, or maybe even live bearers. They're probably really good, just because of like low maintenance. Obviously, you still need to worry about like temperature if you're in a cold climate. Good filter and a well-cycled tank as well. So, yeah, I don't know what you would say.
I'd say something where probably not a live bearer, like maybe like an Endler, because they're a lot less prone to a lot of the issues that just your common guppies have because they're a lot less inbred. So maybe like, that being said, I mean, they're all prone to a lot of diseases. Something foolproof would be like something like cardinal tetras or something like that, where there's not a lot of problems that come with that fish, because most of the time, if you get guppies, the problems that beginners have is like they get skinny.
Yeah. Actually, that's a fair point, because guppies are definitely getting...
They're weaker than they used to be, yeah.
A lot less strong than they used to be.
Even like betters and stuff too. Like, I mean, most of this, like neons have problems as well. So
yeah.
That's why I say cardinals, is because I don't notice that they have a lot of the problems that other fish do. They've been really hardy for me, at least.
I guess like even with...
and they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Like undeniably.
It's like with guppies and neon tetras, like they've been mass produced in like farming situations where, they might not concentrate too much on bringing new bloodlines in and reducing bottlenecking. So I guess over time that kind of diminishes the quality of the fish. But if you've got a good quality brood stock or whatever you want to call it, then it might be worth doing that. So
something that is probably like one of the easiest things to take care of is angelfish too.
Oh yeah.
They're impossible to kill, really. Like once you get them past that like juvenile stage.
Yeah.
Onto adulthood, like you've got to be careful because they can be aggressive and they can be terrible beginner fish. For that, because they can just be chaotic.
Yeah.
But they're very, very hardy.
And they're also like quite unique because you can't get any other freshwater fish that has that particular shape.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
Angelfish are underrated at the moment, 100%.
Yeah.
They're not as popular as I want them to be, but they'll come around. They will come around.
Yeah.
Any stocking ideas for a 40-gallon breeder? I'm relatively new and don't have much money, so like $50 for the fish. So I guess it depends, because if you want to breed something or if you want to keep it, for a 40-gallon breeder, probably put like 5 angelfish in there, 4 or 5 angels in there, maybe to add a bit of variety. I don't know. If I was going to breed stuff, I'd add something that would breed. I don't know. I'd say angels, but the problem is you're going to need a separate tank. I don't know. Maybe guppies.
Yeah.
It's a funny size, because if it was like a 2-footer, I'd just say, oh yeah, throw some guppies in there with some cherry shrimp, and that'd be under $50, and then you could breed those up and sell them. You could even add like a bristlenose pleco pair in there, and you could breed those in there too. That 40-gallon size is a bit of a funny one, because it's even in between like having like discus in there or something like that, which you couldn't have for $50. But what do you reckon?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Like maybe it depends, because if for a display in a 40 breeder, I reckon the cheapest, best looking thing would be definitely angelfish. They're in that like middle price bracket. So just get some like common scalers and grow them up and let them do all their fighting with each other and all that stuff. And you can breed them in the future if you wanted to. And I have 1,000 angelfish now, just hooked up with a 4,000 litre an hour pump. 4,000 litre an hour pump for $50. That sounds so good. Is cherry shrimp the most beginner friendly shrimp?
I've got no experience in shrimp. So this is all on you.
Yeah, I'm probably not the best person to ask. I haven't kept, well, I've only just started keeping shrimp again, which a lot of people here wouldn't know. If you remember, you would have seen in my member update video that, like, because all the videos are kind of like lagged behind. So I try and really keep the members updated with what's going on. But we got some shrimp and I'm finally getting back into it. But the cherry shrimp is definitely the easiest, I think. Shrimp in general, though, can be very finicky. Like with the thing with like cherries and shrimp in general is that like they're not good with sudden fluctuations in anything. So you got to really acclimate the shrimp and get them into a stable environment, and then they really just go well from there. But you said you never kept shrimp before.
Yeah, I mean, from one of my pond videos, one of my viewers said was talking about the importance for drip acclimation in shrimp, and how if you don't want your shrimp to die straight away, you should drip acclimate them to get used to the pH and that sort of thing. So
I've definitely noticed that, like, the thing is with shrimp too, is when I haven't acclimated them properly, they don't die straight away. It takes them like 1 or 2 days to die. From that stress, they don't instantly die. So yeah, you got to be like careful with it. But they're all very, very easy to take care of. Just acclimate them, get them into a good, stable environment, and they'll just do really well. Reminder to try and do the Corydora breeding video. I know.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Yeah, I've been a bit slack just because of the uni stuff, but
yeah,
because those videos, right, the vlogs, I've explained this in like one of my videos before, but they're a lot easier to make. Like, yes, you got to go out of your way and make them, and they're not like super easy to make, but compared to like an informational video, you really got to go out of your way to like schedule it, like try and make sure you cover everything you want and record it. And breeding videos take quite a few days because you actually have to breed the fish over like a week.
Yeah.
So, and then you got to vlog it all and put it together and everything like that. So it's quite an effort, but it's definitely coming. I'm never going to forget about it. It's going to come at some point.
Reminding him.
Are you guys still students? If so, how do you manage both? So I'm probably not the best to ask. We'll let Justin answer this. So how do you manage fish keeping with your study and everything like that? Like, and
late nights studying and early mornings waking up, I guess. Like, I think it's obviously different for everyone, but I live at home with my parents, which takes a lot of weight off my shoulders. And I basically get up at 5 to 5:30 in the morning every morning to feed all the fish, do water changes if I need, head straight to uni, just do most of my studying at uni. And then when I come home, if there's anything I need to do, like assignments or anything, I just work on those as soon as I get home, and then worry about fish later. Unless I've got fry, then I prioritize the fry. But yeah, that's just how I do it.
Thanks so much, Liam. In my opinion, I prefer the vlogs a lot more. That's interesting. I wonder what everyone else... I'll put up a poll. It seems like a lot of people like the informational videos, but
yeah. Back
to the uni. Justin's a lot more studious than I am, and keeps up with all of his... I will say bye to Abby. See ya. And keeps up with all of his studies a lot better than I do. And yeah, do you want... You don't have a problem with saying what you do at uni, do you?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, you can tell us.
I study Bachelor of Biomedical Science.
So it takes a lot more effort because I do property economics. So like that's a lot more of a bludge. Like, yeah, I still have to do a little bit of work, but Justin's really got to stay on top of all of his studies. And for him, the studies kind of become... they're more of a priority than the fish. Well, like for me, I kind of care a bit more about the fish than I do about the studies. But yeah, I guess like for me, because I do a lot of my uni in my own time, it makes keeping fish a lot easier. But for Justin, yeah, he's got to like really try and find the time to do it. So yeah. Anyways, that's kind of like a bit of a better look into like what we do outside of fish, because we don't just do this all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of do, but what do you use for editing and making a thumbnail? You're both so underrated. Next stream I'll make. No, don't feel like you have to donate anything, Lockie. But for the editing and making a thumbnail, we use Canva. So that's a real good free software. If you want to use that, try and learn it really well. And they've got a bunch of really good preset thumbnails. So if you want to make some thumbnails on there, you'll probably see how I started making mine. Canva's really, really good. Justin uses Canva.
Yeah.
So that's probably the best free option. Have you two ever had a pair of Angels or GBR look after their young? You have a pair of GBR that always... I have a pair of GBR that always looks after their young. I haven't. Have you?
No.
No, I've always artificially raised them.
I think I've actually personally never had a specifically GBR breeding tank. I'm sure they would after a few goes, but yeah. See, I breed mine in a community tank, so they'll just be picked off straight away. So I have no idea. But
so yeah, you've got to that's the thing, is the intention behind the breeding. So I don't know. I can have a lot more control over the spawn and how I want it raised when I take it out myself. And often the fish breed more if they get removed from their fry. So, well, not from their fry, from their eggs. So I've actually done it once, but it wasn't successful. They just ate all their babies. But I did a black marble angel spawn when I was 15, and they were all crowding around the parents. And it was really, really cool. But then they ate the babies the next day. So
yeah, I mean, in my tank, I even have trouble with the eggs, and I've got my tank's inundated with trumpet snails, Malaysian trumpet snails, and if I don't take the eggs out an hour after they're done spawning, and the eggs have gone through their fertilization process, then all the snails just swarm all over the eggs and just eat all the eggs. So I have to get them out quickly. So I don't ever have the opportunity to let them parent raise.
That happened with Justin's got L201s as well.
Yeah.
And you can explain.
No, you go. I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, I don't really remember what happened, but Justin's got I don't know if you watched that video, Suresh. We did he had a fish room. He had a few tanks in his garage, and he had some really cool stuff. So we made a video about it. But he sold Justin his L201 breeding trio. He's had a few nightmares with it. So there's 2 males and 1 female. Was it 1 male? The dominant male killed the subdominant male.
Yeah, absolutely thrashed it. Yep.
And then they spawned pretty much straight away.
Yep.
And the cave became inundated with Malaysian trumpet snails, right?
Yeah, so it was a pretty decent batch of eggs in there. And then, yeah, just all these trumpet snails flooded it, and he couldn't kick them out. So he just kicked all the eggs out. And I didn't really know what I was doing. So I called Nick, and before I knew it, they were all moldy and gone. Yeah. So terrible feeling. But
anyways, it's all part of serving your breeding apprenticeship, learning that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just annoying. So that's a good question. How old are you two? You look like 16-year-olds, which is true. I'm 20. You 20 yet?
I'm 20 yet.
Yeah.
Now 20.
Oh yeah, Justin just had his birthday. That's right.
Yeah.
We went out and we got Mexican, and we had some nachos. Remember that massive? We got this huge, massive nacho thing for Justin's birthday. So yeah, we're both 20. Probably the youngest guys.
Yeah, I wonder what we'll look like when we're 40.
Probably the same.
Yeah.
Would you guys ever start a saltwater tank? I personally wouldn't. I don't know about you.
See, my grandfather is obsessed with saltwater fish, and he's going to be probably moving in with me sometime. And yeah, I feel like I'm going to have a few pairs of clownfish or something going on just to keep him happy.
That's actually not true. I probably would do it at some point. I think it'd be a lot to manage just with everything that's going on right now, all the fresh water.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to worry about is salinity.
Yeah.
At some point down the line, I really have a thing for clownfish.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, they're very similar to discus in breeding and keeping.
So maybe
worth it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you had the same haircut, you'd be twins. Yeah, maybe.
We hear that a bit.
Yeah, we get that quite a bit. You should start making YouTube shorts. So this is actually something I've been throwing up a bit in my head. Just personally, because I know that the feature's there on YouTube, but YouTube's implemented a thing called Shorts. Do you know about that?
Oh.
So I'm not too sure like I think you use the hashtag shorts, and when you post it and it becomes like a YouTube short, it's like designed to compete with I think with like TikTok and short content formats. I personally have never watched a short. I find it quite annoying on YouTube looking at the shorts, because if I wanted to watch short form content, I would go to like TikTok or something like that. But I don't know whether people here even like, do you guys watch shorts? Do you like shorts? Would you want to see them? I don't know. I feel like that's the thing where like I kind of want like YouTube and Instagram and TikTok to kind of all stay in their lane a little bit more. Like,
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's a bit much for like you spend so much time creating content, and I'm like better at making like long form content.
Yeah.
I'm like not good at jamming things in too short. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. So it's a bit like annoying to try and balance. Like, I don't think I'd want to do shorts if that became a big part of the algorithm, because like, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a lot to balance trying to make short form content. And like, you could just like take an old video and cut it up, but and that's just my little quick rant on it. Do you guys like shorts? Do you watch them? I don't know.
Someone said they're like short tips.
Yeah, like a lot of
be a good idea for us if we wanted to.
A lot of people, what they do is they just like cut up like a previous video, like a 7, like if I wanted to use like a 7 tips video, but then I'd rather just people watch the whole 7 tips video than recycle content.
Oh, true.
So yeah, I don't know, just like, yeah, I'd rather do TikTok. That's something that I'd rather focus on. But oh yeah, it seems like everyone likes shorts. So shorts like short tips. So I guess, I don't know. It's just funny because when I do go to YouTube, I always go with the intention of watching like a 15-minute video or like a 10-minute video.
Yeah.
I don't like want to swipe. But maybe that's just me being a weirdo. Shorts generate clicks, so yeah, that'd be important if like I don't really focus too much on clicks. Like I guess it's important, but for me it's more about like just whatever I want to make personally. So yeah. Anyways, you've never watched shorts, obviously, then?
No.
Yeah, so
yeah, I'm not very like onto that sort of thing. I'm not on the ball.
We're both boomers at heart, so do a full fish room tour, like a 45-minute video. I miss those. We'll have to. I'm just a little bit embarrassed by how dirty the fish room can get, so I might have to clean it up and then do a big fish room tour. But my voice also hurts after doing those videos too.
Yeah. I mean, the fortunate thing about your room though is like even after all of the work that you do in there, you can just like clean it out really easily. Yeah,
because it's so small. So you just pick everything up off the floor, give it a hose out, make it look nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Here we go. Any good questions? No, we don't have a TikTok yet. Here we go. Why is my male better not taking care of the eggs? You try and answer that. I'm not too sure.
I think like I've bred bedders in the past, and you get some fish that are just a little bit inept at being good parents. And sometimes you can remedy that with a bunch of goes. You can give them a few different tries.
Yeah.
And they might get it right, but if they don't, it might be worth trying a different male, because some of them are just not cut out to being fathers or whatever purpose they serve.
Most of the time, the important thing is if you try and breed them like in like a tub or something like that, the important thing is trying to get the males just to fertilize them, because after that, normally the eggs are fine.
Yeah.
If they themselves kind of push themselves back up to the nest anyways and all that kind of stuff. So as long as your male's not eating the eggs, then I'd normally just like leave them, let the male attempt to put everything up in the nest and take care of it or whatever. And yeah. Spent 80 on brown strip eggs like a year ago and they never came. Rip. That's annoying.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
Can't wait to see Justin's new fish room. Going to give KFS a run for his money. Yeah.
Oh, definitely not, but
no,
it'll be a compliment for sure.
No, I'm keen. I'm keen because I'm definitely going to be helping Justin build that, and we're going to be spending a lot of time trying to make it all perfect and fix all the things that I wish I did in my fish room.
I appreciate the enthusiasm though.
No, I don't want. It'll be really, really good. I think
It will
like
be good, yeah.
yeah. I guess what's the basic plan like with the whole fish room? Like, what's the
Just to keep it as simple as possible. Having like, I mean, I explained it a little bit in the video that I just did, and I recognize you from my comment section. But yeah, so basically just have the conditioning and breeding, then first stage fry, second stage fry, and then grow up. And this is gonna be like a really simple, like drop everything down the rack system, and that's it. So won't be too over the top. So
it's your goal for the whole fish room is obviously ram breeding though, right? Is that
yeah.
or it's just breeding anything? I think
I think I'm going to dedicate like 80% of the fish room to rams, and then 20% just whatever I feel like doing. I mean, at the end of the day, we're like fish keepers as well and fish enthusiasts, so may as well just keep it interesting.
it's yeah, it's gonna be pretty fun. I think like building it, and we're gonna be making some more videos on because this time right around I didn't really get to focus too much on like the nitty gritty of building the fish room when I first did it because I just needed to get it done. But this time, because like it's mainly you're going to be steering the project, I can spend a lot of time recording and doing all that kind of stuff. So I'm actually really, really keen to get into it and see what Justin can make. But yeah, it's going to have auto water change system.
Yep.
So that'll be good because it'll give time for uni and things like that.
100%. Easy as.
And what else is it going to have?
Central heating.
Central heating.
Yep. It's in a small room, so it's not going to be too expensive to run. Like we got solar panels at my house, so everything's quite cheap and easy. So yeah,
it's going to be a lot. I think it'll be probably more efficient than my fish room though, because of all the like Justin can harvest rainwater a little bit easier and things like that. So it'll be pretty cool. Any tips for looking after blackworms? Yes. So Justin doesn't use blackworms.
No.
He's not a fan of them. I'm not really a fan either. I used to be, but the problem with blackworms is I worry about them taking like pathogens into my aquariums. But when I do get them, I do use them sometimes. What the main thing is for taking care of them is I keep them in the fridge and I constantly keep them clean. So the way you clean them is you put tank water in. So you just use like an old tank water, fill up your container, mix them around, and the water will go brown, and keep filtering that, like empty that water out and fill it up again until it goes clear, and then put it in the fridge and make sure it always stays that way, because the second worms start dying, it's like an exponential curve and the whole like bucket of them can just crash. So yeah.
And I guess like the only thing I can say is if you are going to feed them sparingly, because like Nick and I have seen people who feed them as a main part of a fish's diet.
Oh yeah.
And bloating is such a bad issue with that diet. So
well, yeah, especially with like, so we'll just talk about it. We've had this pair of discus that we bought in the previous vlog. Did we get it? Or maybe that's the vlog coming out. I don't remember. We've got this new pair of discus. And the previous owners were feeding worms and only worms. So they're feeding, was it frozen bloodworms?
Frozen bloodworms and live blackworms.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, these fish have come in and they've just been nothing but trouble. Like they spawned and they actually had wrigglers.
Yep.
But the male and the female haven't eaten for nearly 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's
so it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
We've been doing Epsom salt baths and things like that. You guys will see it all coming up in the future vlogs. But yeah, it's all a result of a bad diet and
the most amazing fish, personality-wise.
Oh
like,
yeah,
very, very docile fish. It's just a shame because they've had such a bad diet, and then the stress of moving the fish, even though we went through every way possible of keeping that as least stressful for them as possible, still they got bloat. So,
and like the thing is too, it's like some fish can eat only bloodworms and things like that. It depends on the fish, but yeah, discus should be fed like beef heart, seafood mix, and occasionally pellets.
Yeah,
probably not live blackworms because they're too smart, and they learn that if they wait long enough, they're going to get that live blackworm.
Yeah.
So
very intelligent fish. They can like So they'll have you train before you have them train, probably.
Yeah. So yeah. How much does it cost to start a fish room like yours? A lot of money. I guess we can probably go into it in a bit more detail in a better video, but like, yeah, like, I guess it's a lot of money. It depends, because sometimes like it depends if you want to get like a big fish room and you want it to be all new tanks, or if you want to get like pre-owned tanks. Like you can do a cheap budget setup probably for like under $1,000, like a couple of tanks, like, and like a rack system where you have like 4 breeder tanks up the top and some 4-foots down below and things like that for growing out, like I had in my previous fish room. So that would have been like maybe $2,000 Australian, all that equipment together, I think. But yeah, like, I mean, I can't remember the exact number that the fish room cost me, but it wasn't cheap. And I mean, like, all the glass probably cost like close to nearly $8,000, which is crazy. And I'm not saying that like in a way to like to flex or show off or anything like that. It's just, I think it's just important to be transparent, and that's just how much things cost. Plumbing was expensive.
Even contracting.
Yeah. Like, yeah, getting like an electrician in, everything like that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to hide it. I guess like I'm a little bit funny talking about it because like I don't want it to come off like in the wrong way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was close to $8,000 for all the tanks, and then the stands was like probably 2.5, and so it's not cheap. But you can do it a lot cheaper than I did it. So that's just me being completely transparent.
Yeah.
If you want to share how much you plan your fish room to cost, you don't have to, but
no, I mean, I'm happy to.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not too sure, but I'm going to try to save as much money as I can on the contracting side. So my dad's quite handy with different things, so he's going to be helping me out quite a bit.
Justin's handy too, so
Yeah, so I'll just try kind of work my way around that, and I'm looking at like a couple grand, just a couple grand. So.
And yours is going to be smaller. Mine cost a lot more because I tried to jam it into a small space, so I needed a lot of specialty things. Where yours is a lot more malleable, so you can actually cut corners on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And on the right things. I think though it's important if you're trying to do it like Justin's a hobbyist. Like Justin and me make money together on projects together, but Justin's like things a whole like hobbyist thing. So he can do all the hobbyist stuff, but for me, I needed to lay down the ground like framework. I couldn't have problems later on from skimping out on things in the setup. Like I needed it all to be perfect, and that's why it was probably a lot more expensive than it should have been. But I guess it's part of it. So, I mean, I don't have a problem talking about it. I hope that didn't come off the wrong way. What have you found needs the most time and attention? What fish? Yeah, discus.
Discus and rams.
Discus, rams. The Blackworms have been an absolute nightmare. They're hard as to take care of.
We're like, yeah, on the black ram thing, like it's more just us trying to get them to not be as temperamental when they eventually get to you guys, if you do decide to buy them here in Australia, because we're struggling a little bit, not too much, but it is a lot harder than the GBRs that I have.
Like spawning,
yeah.
Raising the fry, all that kind of stuff has just been like 10 times more difficult than German blue rams.
Yeah. I mean, even just us raising the juveniles that we have in Brisbane tap water, like that'll make a huge difference compared to, other systems. So we're just going to see how we go. And maybe like a few generations time, there'll be a really hardy fish that'll do well. So, yeah.
Definitely the most time would be black rams, discus, and then that's probably it. The rest are kind of even, like GBRs.
Yeah.
GBRs take a lot of time too. So, yeah. What do you feed your rams?
Oh, anything that's like a well-balanced diet. So you can feed, like, what I feed is high-quality protein flakes. So, like, there's a brine shrimp flake that you can feed, which I am gonna be going on to soon because it's really high in protein. High protein pellets, and once a day they get some the bloodworms, the red ones, not the blackworms. I don't never use those, never will. So I mean, I don't have a big problem with them. It's just I don't want to introduce them.
I think it's just like not for you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean someone else can't have success with it.
Exactly. It's just a little bit paranoid about putting worms in the tank that stay alive. So
yeah, and they're also blackworms are raised in sewage most of the time.
Yeah, well, that's a part of the reason why I'm a bit iffy about them.
Bit gross.
Yeah.
There was a good question before that I'm trying to figure out. There was one that I looked at and I was like, yes, I'm going to answer. Any tips when starting a small business with fish breeding and plants?
This one's all on you.
Yeah, probably me. I guess my first tip would be keep your starting costs low so you don't have a lot to catch up on. And my second tip would be to find something that sells. So make sure that whatever you breed, you can actually sell. And find something that you actually enjoy too, because if like a lot of the time you've noticed that I've cut out on a lot of things that I'm not enjoying, because if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to breed it well. So that was, for instance, like the flagtails. We're probably going to move those on if we can't.
I feel like we'll give them a little bit more.
We'll
time,
give them a bit more time.
Not too much time, yeah.
But like they weren't for me at this point in time, and yeah. So like those would be my big tips.
Yeah, one thing about Nick, like I've gotten to know him, is he'll try a bunch of different types of fish in his room, and if he does well with certain things, then he obviously enjoys it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what stays, I guess. So, yeah.
There was something else I wanted to add, but I can't remember what I was going to say. I think the other thing too is a lot of people, like from the outside, it looks like it's like this like super lucrative, like crazy thing. The thing is, it takes a long time for a business like a fish breeding business to become profitable. I'm lucky. I probably wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now if I wasn't as young, if I wasn't living with my parents, if I like had like other responsibilities, because like you have to factor in, you're not going to be able to, you're not going to be able, like, okay, you're going to spend a certain amount of time setting up. So you're not going to make any time, like you're going to be spending money that whole time setting up and not making anything. And then you have to get everything in. And then it normally takes like 2 months before everything settles in and actually starts breeding. And then you have to grow all that stuff up and then you start selling stuff. So it can take a long time. And that's something a lot of people don't think about. You really got to plan it out. Like if you want to take it seriously, if you want to do it for fun and you want to do it just to like fund your hobby, which I recommend doing, because that's the way you're going to enjoy it. Focus on something you can breed well. That's worth like don't just breed mutt guppies, like unless you can sell them for like unless you want to. Maybe focus on breeding like a certain type of Cory, and just make that your thing, like orange laser Cories or something like that. That's what I would do.
Yeah,
like specialize, but not in something that the farm's producing.
It's great to start out with the idea of sustaining your hobby. So covering all your expenses and whatever you get at the end of the day on top of that is a bonus.
Exactly.
So like with me, before I met Nick, I had that mentality where I just wanted to make back all the money it cost me to set up my tanks and GBRs. I was like breeding so many of them, and I was like, oh, cool. Like I can make a bit more money than I thought. And that's just how it ends up going. So
yeah, like just I reckon don't produce like, if you can only offer one thing to a shop, don't produce like guppies, because like mutt guppies, you know what I mean? Because like the shop's just going to import them from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And they always come in with problems. Like if you were the guy who was producing panda Cories or something like that, they're always going to take panda Cories. They always can sell them. And like, I don't know, I think there's like a difference between those two fish.
Yeah. And if you can like focus on producing like good quality stock and then get in the good books with the shop,
they'll take whatever you have.
Yeah, exactly.
They will take your guppies.
They'll know you as like the panda Corey guy or girl, or like
they'll literally know you as that though.
Yeah.
That's what they'll call you. I was for a long time the double red episto guy. So, and Justin was the ram guy to me.
Still am.
Yeah. Are you planning to breed shrimps or get into the shrimp hobby? Yes. Yeah, we're breeding some. Well, we haven't bred any. Well, I'm breeding shrimp right now. Justin's going to get some yellow cherries, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're definitely going to get into that. Sorry about this, by the way, everyone. It's been a bit annoying. When can I get black rams? I need to try my hand at breeding them. I've had a lot of luck with GBR, still want a challenge.
Well, I guess, yeah, I don't know if you were here, Bobby, for what we were saying before, but yeah, we really want to get the quality of these fish really good before we release any of them. So they'll still be probably a bit more of a challenge than your GBRs that you have, but we don't want them to be so much of a challenge that they're even hard to ship and that sort of thing. So we're just really concentrating on making really good quality rams first.
And they need to be black.
And they need to be, because we're also meeting criteria. So like, there's different groups and things who have certain expectations of what you call this, what you call that. And we have one in Australia, so we have to meet those standards. So, yeah.
Because like, I don't want to like name names or anything like that. A lot of importers have been bringing in, like I have no clue who's doing it, but they bring in black night rams into Australia. And then I think Bobby was texting me and said he got some of these that were just not black nights at all.
Yeah. We've seen them at pet shops.
Yeah, and they sell them as dark night rams and they just look like a GBR but skinnier.
Yeah, I looked at them thinking they were GBRs, and yeah, Nick showed me what they labeled them as, and it's a little bit ridiculous, but.
And ours are very black compared to that, but I still wouldn't sell them as a black night ram. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like we're following the American standard. So like,
yeah,
we want to make sure our midnight is actually like really, really solid black color, and yeah.
And yeah. Mine were actually paler than a standard blue ram, he said.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Do you want to keep any fish just as pets or as something you're interested in? Yeah, you first.
Yeah, well, like in my future fish room, I really want to get a discus tank and just like fill it up with GBRs and like all different types of rams. I just want to like be able to still keep the hobby going with like the plants and all of that. So that'll be good.
I think I want to get like a lungfish or stingrays maybe.
Stingrays would be amazing.
I don't know. They never appealed to me if you asked me like months ago, I probably would have been like, nah, I don't like that. But dude, stingrays are so cool.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe them. You guys will be gurus when you're my age. I just started the hobby this year. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Oh, thanks so much for watching our videos.
Yeah. Cheers.
I really, really appreciate it. Like, I can't believe where this has all come and how many people we could help and everything like that. So, one sec. What is the best beginner fish, do you think? Did we answer this at the start?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did we say? It was endless and angelfish, I said. Even though they were probably in that video where I'm like the worst beginner fish. There were actually angels. Remember that?
Yeah.
Man, I annoyed a lot of people with that video. I think that video's aim was to be like, beware. Yeah. Not like these are the worst fish. Just beware before you get these fish because a lot of beginners don't think about this.
Yeah.
Including myself. I didn't think about it when I was a brand new beginner. Wait. Do you have any pets other than fish?
I've got heaps of birds.
Yeah, Justin was big into birds at one point.
Yeah, I used to be a part of the Finch Society here in Australia, and I used to be a part of conservation programs for like Gouldian finches and black-headed yellow siskins. So I was big into finches before fish. But yeah, birds and a dog.
Yeah, you got Kelsey. Yeah,
Kelsey, my Australian Kelpie.
Yeah, Kelsey will be in a video at some point.
Yeah.
I've got 2 dogs and I had a lizard. I've kept turtles, but fish are my main thing. They always have been. I like that you can keep them in a small space, and yeah, there's something about I don't really like keeping like a lizard or something in a cage. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Keeping a fish in a tank is different, I think. But yeah. What do we feed the Blackwrams?
Pretty much the same.
The same stuff. I've got the Blackworm breeders. Justin's getting this first batch of Blackwrams that we've got. I think we've got like maybe at this point, like I don't want to like jinx it or anything like that because they could just crash at some point. I remember maybe like 50 Blackwrams.
Yeah.
In this first batch, and then the second batch might have more, but they're a bit young to tell. We're keeping them for future brood stock, but since I have the brood stock, back to the main point of the question, I feed them a pellet and I feed them bloodworms. That's basically it. I don't really put a lot of, like I feed 2 different types of food, but I don't put like a crazy amount of variety into it.
It's pretty much the same as the GBRs. It's like varied enough.
I wouldn't just feed one thing. I feed the bloodworms as a bit of like a treat, and to make them think, maybe it's time to breed. I give them a bit of BBS every now and then to try and stimulate them to think that they can feed the fry stuff. But yeah. Sorry if you've already mentioned it, but when's the next member vid coming out or what's the schedule? So the member videos are kind of like off the cuff. I'm trying to do at least once a week. It's probably going to end up being more than that. But I can probably do one tomorrow or something like that. I'll see how I go. But they're all kind of like off the cuff. If you become a member, expect it once a week. But yeah, it's mostly just like the behind the scenes stuff that isn't fit for like YouTube's algorithm. Because if I start posting videos on, like discus bloat, I mean, if I start posting, just like, like I don't know. It's those kind of things, those videos where they're not going to appeal to a larger audience, to you guys. And then what happens is YouTube goes, people don't like his videos anymore. And they stop pushing videos you guys are actually interested in. And the other thing too is it's like behind the scenes, you get to see things early. And it really helps to support me because my audience, if you look at my analytics, I think 6% or something like that is Australian, which means 6% of people can buy fish from my website or plants and stuff like that, which is a crazy low amount. I think I can't remember the amount that's American, but it's a huge amount. So if you wanted to monetarily support the channel, it's a good way to do it. You get something in return. So that's why I set it up. But yeah, it's only 6%. So there's not a lot of Aussies that watch my videos. I have no clue what Justin's would be. It's probably a much higher percentage.
Yeah, I think because
a lot of people know.
The American and Australian audience are coming to my channel at the moment.
Yeah, because yours, you had the Instagram beforehand, so.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Australian and American people on there too. Yeah.
How do I keep my butterfly from dying, and also what do I feed them to make them grow faster? So, I would make sure that they're eating. The best thing for butterfly is definitely baby brine shrimp. Make sure there's no ammonia in the water, and to make them grow fast, lots of protein. Don't bloat them, but maybe a high quality pellet or something like that, and they'll do really well. Do you guys have success breeding L46 and how? I definitely don't. The L46 in Australia, it's kind of like, to me, the L46 is my favorite fish, definitely. The reason being, I mean, first of all, they look sick. They look so cool. The second thing is they're very rare around the world, and even in Australia, they're super rare.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to get my hands on 5 of them. Little tiny guys. So hopefully I've got a mix of males and females in there. Which currently, I'm growing them up. I think they're going to be breeding probably the end of next year. But we've still got a long time to wait until they're breeding and everything like that. So we don't have success. I haven't killed any yet, which is good. And I hope that I never do. But Yeah, I mean, they're such an amazing fish.
Oh, they're striking. Yeah, beautiful.
Definitely my favorite.
Yeah, we've had success with the L201s, but that's about it.
What's your favorite aquarium plant?
Probably like Anubias.
Yeah, I like Anubias nana petite.
Yeah, I guess because it's so hardy and like anyone can grow it really. Like you can attach it to a piece of wood, on a coconut shell, anything, and it'll do well.
Like slow light. It's slow growing, which I don't like. I like wisteria. That's really good because it's fast growing. I like Java moss.
Yeah.
And I like Amazon swords.
Yeah.
Those would be my favorite.
I think like in terms of beginner plants that I keep and grow that I really enjoy having in my community tank are Cambomba. Like if you've watched any of my videos, I always talk about Cambomba, Vallisneria spiralis, like jungle vels, probably know them by, and Java fern.
Yeah.
So those are like ones that I just grow heaps of.
I liked Val a bit
Yeah.
ago, but I kind of went off it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think I like all the stuff that's easy to grow. I'm not a big fan of the high tech stuff. I like crypts.
I like looking at it in other people's tanks.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a reef tank. You have to like put a lot of work in.
It's not what I get. I don't get a massive kick out of it.
Yeah.
I find it way more satisfying to see the little tiny babies in an aquarium than plants. But that's just me.
Yeah.
So when will you get out and catch some wild rainbows? So we were actually looking into this. We were talking about honey blue eyes last week. We actually can't go out and get them anymore.
No, we can't.
No, that was old information. Apparently since 2014 or something like that, right?
2016.
Yeah, 2016 it was banned. So maybe we can go out and catch some Pacific blue eyes.
Yeah, we might do that. Yeah.
Just a little bit of a fun video, but
I mean, eventually one day it would be good to like look into potentially being a part of a conservation program that we could help out with the honey blue eyes.
Yeah, because they're so
critically endangered.
Yeah.
It would be nice to like kind of be involved with conservation and do what we can to give back. That would be good.
Yeah, they're endangered, so it's a bit sad. But just wondering, do you run the website yourself? So I run the website. Justin occasionally comes out, and like today he helped me pack up some fish, and we shipped them out. So that was really helpful, and I appreciated that a lot. But yeah, it's all me. So it is a little bit. You can tell, like it's like pretty ghetto. It's hard to find stuff. So if you're looking to find something on there, try and search it on the search bar, because that's probably the best way to find it. You can like go through like the live fish and look through the whole catalog if you want to find something. But I've got to get it upgraded at some point. So yeah, sorry about that. But it's me. It's me, the boomer behind the laptop. Do you breed neon tetras? I haven't bred neon tetras since the breeding series. I was thinking about doing it again, but
I actually caught my neon tetras spawning in my community fish tank.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah. I increased the temperature by 1 degree Celsius, and I think it kind of like went the 1 degree, and something happened, and I saw some males fighting, and then before I knew it, the female that's really gravid in my tank was laying eggs. So
we should probably do it again. I think I want to try and do it with like I want to buy like a ton of neon tetras.
Yeah.
Throw them in like a quarantine tank. Let the ones with the white growth and stuff on them, neon tetra disease, die off. Let them fester for a bit and just like, get really good, like the fat neon tetras, and then try and do like 10 pairs.
I think so.
Imagine watching that in a video, like 10 pairs, like the farms do it, and just see if you can actually create any.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Because
there's no profit in it. Like if we created like 100, it's like $80 worth of fish.
Yeah.
And for the effort.
Yeah, the time's a big factor. But I mean, it would be worthwhile for the content, I guess.
So at some point I'm going to do it again, no doubt. But yeah. When you first started out, what were some of the mistakes you made and learnt from, whether fish-wise or YouTube-wise? I'm constantly making mistakes all the time.
That's a part of it.
Yeah.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah. constantly making, doing things wrong. So I don't know. There's no real big ones. If you guys know how my auto water change system works, I like basically fill up a big water tank with water and then treat it, and then it gets pumped into my tanks. I once forgot to treat that water and lost a bunch of fish. Things like that. Lots of little mistakes, but the important thing is to not, like, it sounds so cliche, but just like to keep going.
Yeah.
Constantly, like Justin's had a bit of trouble with like his German blue rams lately, and
Yeah. I guess it's easy enough to just sit there and like blame yourself for everything. But if you actually like get up and like, okay, well, what can I do next time? And like just try something new, and then if that works, great. If it doesn't, try something different. And then if you fix the problem, then I guess you move on to the next thing. But like, it's good that you know that after. So
yeah, it's always about just learning constantly and not quitting.
Yeah.
So yeah. Opinion on green neon tetras. I like them. I think the thing is with green neons, it's like they cost a lot more, and a lot of people, like, unless they're a hobbyist like me, would rather just buy the normal neon for like a tenth of the cost, basically. So we've got some green neons that we're going to breed in the future, probably for a bit of fun. But
you got like 7 of them, I think.
8, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So we'll try and see how it goes.
But yeah. Do you remember your Breed Plus Care series? I would like an updated swordtail video. Yeah, I'll be doing all those videos like at some point again. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube. You get to redo your videos. So I'll be redoing those videos in the future. I guess when I actually have swordtails.
Yeah.
It won't be in this fish room. I can almost guarantee that I won't have swordtails in this fish room. But in the future, once we get into the life bearers and have to tackle that beast,
probably do line breeding of some, like get koi swordtails or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool ones that you can do, and they're good to sell and everything like that.
Yeah.
Hard for us to compete on those things with the overseas people.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, probably going to go for like a little bit longer. What do you think?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we've got some work to do in the fish room that we want to get through. Where I'm trying to figure out how to make these rainbow fish hatcheries, because we've had like some success with the rainbows, but not a great amount. I want to get like way more fry.
Yeah. We've got an idea in mind of making it more efficient with a drip system. Hey.
So it's more like a container, like the better container, and then just like a bit of air going in there to break the surface tension and oxygenate the water.
Right.
And then let them grow up in there, put a little bit of BBS in there and grow them up, and then move them to a tank, because I was trying to hatch them in a tank.
Yeah.
There was too much room and they weren't eating well, so they would die. And the other way was they'd hatch, but then they'd die from the oxygen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. A Tetra breeding series would be so cool. Yeah, I agree. I'd really like to see one. So I might have to make one. Where'd you get the containers for your fry setup? So I got them from Kmart, and a place called Howard Storage World. I really had to look around. Like, if you ask anyone that was around me while I was building the fish room, like, we were constantly going to different department stores, and I was always going to the container aisle and having a look, because they needed to be a certain size. Like, a lot of them, I think it was like 28 centimeters width I had to work with, and heaps of containers would be like 31 or 32 centimeters and they wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I got them. You want like a nice deep container as well. What is the most difficult fish to take care of that you've had? Blackworms and discus.
Yeah.
Discus for sure.
Yeah.
A lot more I've had a lot of challenges with discus. I don't know whether I'm just like a terrible fish keeper, which I probably am, or if it's just the fact that the fish are just so tricky to take care of. Like, if you can get them into a nice, stable environment, it's good, but it's all this transition period stuff. Like, my floras are doing great, like care-wise. Like, they're very easy to take care of. But the new discus have just been like, I guess they're not hard to take care of, but
Yeah.
They're temperamental and too smart.
Yeah, big cichlids are very intelligent, and like you also see it with Oscars and that sort of thing, where they sulk when they're like in a new environment or something where they won't eat. They'll just chill on the bottom of the tank or whatever. So yeah, I think they're just too smart for their own good.
How's the Borneo suckers going? Are they breeding? They are not. It's been a mega challenge, actually.
Well, we're still in the process of growing them up.
Exactly.
And there's only one that's like at breeding size, and then the rest of them are like doing their little territorial things, but we need to get them a bit bigger and a bit more plump. So
Peruvian Ultims, did you breed them? Are they difficult? No, they've been the most prolific angels that I've ever bred in my life.
yeah.
I just got another spawn today. I've got hundreds coming through. Yeah, they've been a lot easy. So, a lot easier than the other angels.
Yeah.
I think the funny thing is, okay, right? Like people are like, oh yeah, they're scalar, they're not an ultimate and things like that, and that's true. But their eggs are way bigger than all the other angelfish, and their fry are way bigger as well. And there's a lot of differences. Like you've noticed there's differences between the black rams and the blue rams and things like that. So
like even this pair that Nick's got going, they're huge. Like they're like small discus fish in diameter. Like it's insane. But
will you get some puffer fishes? That's definitely down the pipeline. Is that a term?
It is now.
We're gonna eventually we want to do the pea puffers. They've only become available in Australia recently, but we want to try and do them. Maybe not yet. They're a bit pricey, but yeah. All right, we'll do the tour at some point. We'll do it quick. I'll probably do it within the next couple of weeks if everyone wants a tour, because I want to do it. It's just I need to clear up some storage on the phone, go through it all, clean it all up, and everything like that. If you guys want it, like just comment down below. If the tanks were like all the fish are like happy and that, but like the tanks are a little bit messy. Does seeing messy tanks make you angry? Because like most of the time it'd be like, that's the thing. I don't want to be like not or like authentic. Like I most of the time keep mulm down the bottom of the tanks. Like the tanks don't normally look clean, so like it's more transparent to me to like go around and record the tanks when they're not perfectly clean.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that like annoy you when you just see like tanks with mulm on the bottom? Like the fish aren't dead, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's been one of the reasons I haven't done it. It's like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to go through and clean all the like mulm off the bottom. Like,
it's also just like you see on Aquarium Co-op how like he'll clean the surface of the tank before he films. It's kind of the same thing. And like with Nick's fish tanks, there's no substrate to kind of hide the
mulm. Yeah.
And we actually rely on that a little bit for like the cories.
Yeah.
They permanently need some sort of food source at the bottom of the tank to sift through. And it kind of serves as a really good way or medium to have that in there for the cories. So be interesting to see what other people think.
Do you surf at all? I don't. I'm not a good surfer at all. I've tried surfing once. I could stand up. Like I'd say I'm coordinated, like fairly. I'm not a good surfer though, and I haven't really given it a go. I love going for a swim in the surf and like bodyboarding and things like that. But that's something that's funny actually. We have that right at our fingertips, is like these beautiful beaches, and like I don't know, I just forget about that. Everyone's like, oh wow, do you go surfing and stuff like that?
Yeah, I used to, when I first came to Australia, used to go to the beach all the time, and I started doing surfing lessons, and it was like, yeah, I think you take it for granted when you grow up here. But,
yeah, you definitely do. Like, because when I go skiing and things like that, I'm like, wow,
yeah,
this is amazing, so beautiful. So yeah. I think a toy is better. It's much more realistic, especially if you want people to learn something. Too many people think you need spotless tanks to keep healthy fish. That's completely right. Like most of the time, if you go in the wild, I was watching something yesterday. I don't remember where it was. Dude, the wild's disgusting. Like, yeah, there's just like constantly trash all over, like tons of mulm and things like that. leaf litter everywhere. The water's super turbid.
Yep.
And like,
I guess like most of our fish from like South America and the Amazon basin and the tributaries, like there's a whole range of fish that come from a type of water called sooty rivers. And like people have tried to go like analyze the fish in these rivers, but they can't even see like 1 foot in front of them because that's how much stuff is in the water. So yeah, I mean, I think we're doing well with that.
yeah. Where are you from, Justin?
South Africa.
That's where he gets the accent from.
It's a weird accent. It's like combined.
Nah, it's favorite musical artist.
Oh, we're pretty similar.
Yeah, people are gonna be surprised, but like I listen to like trash. I listen to my favorite artist definitely is Calvin Harris.
Yeah.
Freaking love Calvin Harris. Like listen to Calvin Harris all the time. Especially like the older stuff like Motion and 18 Months is so good. But I listen to like EDM like that. I guess Justin's kind of similar. What do you mainly listen to? Because most of the time when I'm in the car, it's just Calvin, like Summer, all the time.
Yeah, I've got that on replay somewhere. But
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to pretty much anything. Like I like Avicii and Swedish House Mafia and
Oh yeah.
all of those types of.
Like I do listen to a range of music. Like I think everyone's always like, oh, I like everything. But if I had to pick one thing to only listen to forever, it would 100% be like house EDM music. Like, yeah. So that's my favorite. If I was gonna like listen to something chill, probably like Sticky Fingers. I like Sticky Fingers a lot. I like Dean Lewis a lot too.
Oh, Dean Lewis is good.
Yeah. So yeah. I listen to indie music. That's cool. Like Lana Del Rey, she's my favorite. I like the Cedric Gervais, is it? The Lana Del Rey remix of Summertime Sadness. I love that remix. So I like Lana Del Rey, but I wouldn't listen to her slow stuff pretty much so. Have you ever visited America? Yes, I've visited America. Have you?
No.
Yeah. Probably going to go when all this stuff's over. But I'm actually an American citizen, so I've got a dual citizenship, so I can actually live in America if I wanted to, but probably going to stay in Australia for now. So yeah, I reckon we might wrap it up. We might do like one more question. What brand of brine shrimp eggs are you using for your fish? I'm also an Australian, wouldn't mind getting the same as you guys are using. I used Ocean Nutrition and I used Brine Shrimp King. What do you use?
Ocean Nutrition, yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of variety here. But yeah, I reckon we wrap it up here. Thanks everyone who came and watched this.
Yeah, thank you.
Get to see a behind the scenes of Justin, what he's really like when he's not like being edited and recorded like that. We can definitely do more of these. If you want to see more behind the scenes of us doing like normal human stuff, like talking about like, the music that we listen to and being normal people, consider becoming a member. But yeah, plenty to look forward to. Thanks so much, everyone. All the positivity. I really, really appreciate it. And
you guys are awesome.
Yeah. And go and subscribe to Justin's channel. He's got some amazing videos on there already and he's working on a heap of different things. So thanks to everyone who tuned in. I'll see you guys in the next one of these lives.
See ya.